Sanibonani, dumela molweni, siyakunjani? Elabika Siboniso Sizo owabumnikazi Sibongo, and this is my views, my expressions. If this is your first time on this show, please make sure that you tune in, subscribe, comment, share, utshele nabanye ukuthi we are here and sikuphathele okungaphathwa abaningi. Speaking of okungaphathwa abaningi, namhlanje we are here to talk about CAF Champions League game. We're going to talk about Mamelodi Sundowns. We also have the Pirates, which is playing away with Cairo, but we leave that one for Coach Mpela. Pose right on my left, we are going to talk about Mamelodi Sundowns facing CAF on Sunday. Kona la ekaya epitoli. Pose.
Good evening, Mzansi.
Yababa kona nganebuka manje sathi good evening Mzansi yakhaiza. Bakhuluma ngaze ikhaiza kanjani bakhuluma uQuesta. Yeah. Yabona manje ziyasho.
We're doing a preview of match day 5 of the CAF Champions League.
Sure.
In the group of Sundowns, where there's still a slight possibility of two teams, either of the two being eliminated or either of the two being able to qualify, with Maniema having already been.
Hey Mo, can you please do justice to Asfar? Asfar is not in those shenanigans.
I'm talking about Raja, Maniema and Sundowns.
Maybe my English is not doing justice to me when you say either of the two.
Either of the two, I mean.
Or the two between Mamelodi Sundowns and
Raja.
I'm
talking about those two teams.
Okay, no, yeah. I get it.
So I understand your English is a bit not very true.
No, listen, poison. My English is Hilton College. Do you know Hilton College? My father used to pay 350,000 a year. So Mamelodi Sundowns is going to this game with the CAF, and they need a win. They need 3 points or at least a draw to ensure they qualify to the next stage.
Yeah.
What do you see this game? How do you see it playing out?
Firstly, I think it's a breathtaking game for Sundowns. After what we saw in Congo last weekend, I think Sundowns now, the level of anxiety is a bit low now. Although they know that there is still a lot of job to be done in Pretoria, but at least now they know that a draw will be enough. Although I don't think they will be playing to draw, but at least they know. It would have been a different story if they were not able to get maximum points back in Congo. So now they are going there on 8 points. I think Raja is on 5, right? Yeah, Raja is on 5, and then S5 is on 9, meaning that if they can be able to get at least a draw, they will be on 9 points, and then S5 will be on 10. So any results between Maniema and Raja will not matter. Even if Raja were to win by a 10-goal margin, it wouldn't matter. But it would be a different story if Sundowns were to lose and then Raja wins. I'm not sure about the goal differences there.
Yeah.
How are we doing in terms of that?
You only have one.
Well, +1.
Yeah.
Raja
only have +1. Raja is sitting on -2.
Meaning that
as far as goal difference is concerned.
Yeah. So meaning that they will need to score at least a minimum of 2 goals or above. But I think there is also a rule of a head-to-head rule that I think is I think it takes first preference when it comes to these situations, and then they will have to look at the goal difference. So Sundowns does not have to put themselves in that situation where other factors will need to be considered to determine who qualifies. They just have to make sure that they get maximum point at home.
So when we speak about the head-to-head criteria, do we only look into Champions League this season, or even consider the previous seasons?
We look at the group and the contesting teams, because they will have already played each other 2 times, both home and away. So we'll have to look at whether the other one won more or the other one won less. But in our case, I think it would be a draw, because we've been able to beat them at home. They beat us away. Yeah. So I think after that we'll have to look at the goal difference.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, looking at the game, you'll remember a game Congo. In Congo. We came up with, since in Congo.
Yeah, it's fine.
From Congo, we came with that win, the 2-1 win, after we introduced Ushalulile into the pitch, and then there were those things that he made to be done, and fortunately Sundowns managed to get maximum points. That game, the start of the game, we saw Abo Sales, we saw so many guys that are not regulars, and then as the game advances we saw some changes from the coach. So if you look into the game that is coming on Sunday, how do you see the starting 11?
I think the starting 11 wouldn't change that much, because I think the 2 guys, Opas and Mtau, are still on suspension because they received red cards on match day 4, I think, against Raja. So you would have a situation where you have Ronan Williams, who is available. You would have Tapelo Morena, Divine Lunga. I'm not sure in the centre back, because I think all the centre backs are available. So the coach is spoiled with choices there, whether to pay Ukekana with Ulebusa or Ukoza, or Ulebusa with Ukoza.
But would you say for a game of this magnitude, where you need really, really experienced players, would you think Ukoza is your first choice?
Yeah, Koza has never let Sundowns down. There's no reason to bring it to not start him. Maybe you'll use other factors.
But I'm talking about the experience. He have never played the CAF Champions League before. He has never faced such a criteria when you have to play a must-win type of a game.
Yeah, with other guys having been on and off due to injuries, and him having played almost all the games that he's been available for selection in for Sundowns, and having never disappointed the team, the experience is not bought. The experience doesn't come from having. The experience you get from playing. So I don't think there's any reason why he should be started on the bench, but it should be the preference of the coach. I haven't seen him being too shaken to show that he's a junior. I think he's faced very tough opponents in the group. I don't think there's a group that is as tough as our group, and I think he's played.
That's very debatable.
Yeah, sure. I think he's played 4 of our 5 games already. With the exception of the game in Congo, he didn't start in Congo. Yeah, so there's him, there's Lebusa, there's Grant. Either of the 3 can be paid. And in the middle of the park, I'm not sure if the coach would want to start with Mkulise or Motiba, because obviously Umkwena and Alende will always start. Then you will have to check if the coach would want to play with a 8-8, or maybe he would want to add more offensive players and have maybe put all of his 3 strikers at the same time, with Sharulile, Reines, and who's this other guy, Sales, and then with Ribeiro. In that case, if he goes,
but it's fine.
If he does that, then that would mean a center he would have only 2 people. Which would be Umkwena and one of the 3 of one between Motiba and Mkulise and Alend, one of the 3 in those guys. But Osale is just costly some phase. I don't think Melabe Conalea game phase. Yeah, we are Scotland, sir.
As far as concerned, how do you look into their game plan? Are they here to try and defend? Are they here to give other players a sort of game time and experience as far as CAF Champions League is concerned? Or they also want to top this game, considering that if you're on top, you have certain advantages that comes with being on top of the group?
I don't think there's too much to play for them. Because I think they've qualified already, and they have not been in the Champions League in recent seasons. I think this performance that they've put this season has to be one of their best performances in the Champions League. If I'm not mistaken, this is their second, if not their first, Champions League season. So already with that, the Arabs don't in many cases go all out when they play away. They always gonna try and maybe rescue a point, or they lose. They have a very bad record when it comes to their away games. And this game being not one of those like game of high consequences for them, because they've already qualified, I don't think they will go all out as they would have if they were playing at home. So you could still see them starting with their strong lineup, but not apply themselves as they would have if they were playing at home, or if there was still a lot on stake to play for. So either way they will start with their first strong lineup, or maybe they will use their fringe players, but I don't think they will apply themselves very much.
Okay, let me put you on the spot. Who is winning the game and what is the score?
It's a 2-0 score for Sundowns.
Ooh, that's bold. Yes. And then you are so eager to talk about Orlando Pirates. But let me just ask you, what do you think is going to happen there? Who is winning that game and what is the score? I don't want anything else. Just give me that.
It's a draw.
Oh,
yeah.
1-1 draw, 2-2.
I think a 1-1 draw, 2-2.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I would allow a draw at home.
They've already qualified. We qualify. Those guys are very smart. They know what they are here for in football. They always play for the consequences. If there's no much consequences, why not?
It's your view, not mine. This is my views, my expressions, and if you haven't subscribed, please, just click there. Just click there, man, and just press the notification button and be a part of the family, man. My name is Mamelodi Sundowns, and we are out of here.